thing started for us. Good morning, Hannah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's go ahead and get this thing crack-a-lacking. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We got an absolute metric ton to cover, so we're not gonna waste any time. Hannah's here this morning, so everybody say good morning to Hannah. Hannah, thank you for your time as always.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, look at the chart, right? This is what we wanted yesterday, but you know, it's all right. It's all good. Got a big day ahead of us, so that's the most important. So we're looking good, very good, and yeah, man, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let me go ahead and make sure everything's good here. Alrighty, guys. As always, I'm gonna go over the future side of things. I'm gonna go over a couple individual names, and then first of all, let me make this screen bigger for you guys. And then we'll get going. We will get going. Again, I'm gonna go over futures, and then Hannah, she will go over SPY and QQQ, and then we'll collectively go over individuals we're watching today. A lot of them probably overlap, but I'm sure you guys still like to hear Hannah's side of things, probably more than mine, to be honest. But yeah, man, happy Tuesday, everybody. We got a lot to cover. So let's get right into it. In terms of today, economic data side, nothing really to worry about. So we can go ahead and skip past that and get right into these charts. First things first here, NQ. I mean, you guys are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, right? Monthly, back red. Pretty much gave back that whole pop from yesterday's session when Trump tried to ease everybody's pretty much fear on that China 100% tariff, right? Said that everything was okay, and then apparently everything isn't okay. So who knows what to believe anymore, to be honest. All I care about is the chart, so that's what we're gonna focus on. Obviously, last week we got that big bearish engulfing. This week we have that inside bar. We have now pretty much flipped that pop we had into a inverted hammer, I guess so to say, but it's still an inside bar, so there's no real clean direction here yet. The daily chart is what I absolutely love here. Across the board, you guys know this is one of my favorite setups to trade. We had this previous resistance that started over here, that held as support from over here, and now look what we just did. Had a massive sell-off inside day, wicked above that previous day's high overnight, 25,000 level, failed it. This is my A+ short setup here, right? It's kind of already happened, to be honest with you. We're down like 600 points, but yeah, this was it. Unfortunately, it happened overnight. But yeah, man, this is it. For me, long as we're below at 25,000, I think we're really gonna struggle going higher, right? I think the chart is definitely geared for lower below that 25,000. So that's kind of my mindset. There is a concern here. The concern is, we did the same thing we did up here, down here, right? We sweep that previous day's low, reclaim, and start to see a little upside. I don't think the upside would last long, but again, grand scheme of things, we're still bullish, right? We're sitting between an absolute major supply and demand now, so. It's very tradable, put it that way, right? I mean, this range is 800 points, right? We only need literally a tenth of that. So, there's a lot of value here. In terms of the chart, Sunday, yesterday, I talked about one thing, right? Was waiting for either a lower high or a higher low. And as of right now, we do have a lower high, indeed, right? We had that big breakdown for Friday session, broke that structure. We broke everything, right? And now we have a lower high here. So the big question going into today's session is this going to turn into a higher low? Because that is possible, right? We hold here, end up ripping back higher, back at an all-time high. That is a possibility. What I think happens is we turn this structure into resistance. This will be the ideal scenario. Pop back like 24,750. We reject and get that move lower. That'll form another lower high. Take out that low. We get Friday's low. So that's kind of my approach with today. As far as levels go, I mean, this is, clean as clean gets, right? We just rejected that macro supply up here at 25,000. Broke that structure at 24,900, which I spoke about all day yesterday. Back below that 24,750. I mean, this is bearish, right? This is bearish as bearish gets. We did fail to go lower off of that gap, but I still do think we get some type of test down here towards like 24,400s. So with that being said, my mindset today on NQ is if we're below 24,750, I'm looking to short the pops, right? I'm looking for a move back to 24,750. Failure, that's my short opportunity, okay? Ultimately targeting those lows from Friday's session. The bullish case today would be, hey, we pull back, sweep that low, reclaim 24,750. Then we could potentially look for longs. But as of right now, I would say this chart looks good for lower. So that's kind of my approach here on NQ. ES, it's going to be identical, right? It's pretty much identical chart from daily to the hourly. We had that big structure break. We got that lower high now. We are still holding demand, so that's important to note. But I still think this looks very good. Major demand here, 66.10. Major supply here, 6,700. The inflection point is kind of 66.55. We talked about this level all day yesterday. So what I'm watching here is essentially a pop back into 66.55, failure. That's the short opportunity. Or below 6,600. That's where we can get jiggy back down into at Friday's low. Okay. The long scenario here would be, hey, if we hold 6,600 and start to show strength, that could be a nice long, or back above 66.55. But as of right now, I think these charts look great for lower. And when I say great like the Frosted Flakes Tiger, okay? Great, okay? So that's what I'm watching today. RTY, big level we spoke about was 24.66. We are back below that, right? You're noticing the same theme between all these charts. We have the failure, right? Now the big question is do we get that continuation, right? That is the ultimate question here, is do we get that continuation? YM, same level I spoke about yesterday, 46,500, slammed, right? Big question here. Do we get that continuation? It looks prime for it. I can't lie. It does look prime for it. So that's kind of the focus for the day is, same game plan from yesterday. That consolidation yesterday was actually needed for this move today, right? And if you guys know what I said yesterday was, if we consolidate today, that just sets us up for an even bigger move tomorrow. And that's what we're seeing right now. So, this is something to be happy about, right? I know, there's probably a lot of FOMO involved in this overnight move. I'm going to be honest, I caught it. I took a position before I went to sleep last night. For those who seen it in the chat, I'm sure you probably caught it as well, but it's far from over, right? When you have ranges like this, the ATR is extremely elevated. There's value everywhere, right? For example, if you just take a peek at this 5-minute candle, right? That's a 50-point candle, right? You're trading Qs, SPY, size light, wide stops. There's going to be value, right? So don't stress about missing a move like this. There will be kind of secondary value from it. As far as gold goes, I mean, this chart has been parabolic, right, for weeks, for essentially months now, right? So, I mean, gold, it's just a matter of when now, right? It's not a matter of if. This has to pull back, right? It's beyond overextended. I mean, in my opinion, this should be the pullback, right? We have the big offset here, the big imbalance where you see an exaggerated sell-off. Now we have a lower high here on the hourly. So I would say gold comes lower, right? Where to? Probably this previous resistance, which would be a big demand now. So if you're looking to trade gold today, it's simple as below 41.50, you could short the pop back down into this demand here at 40.80. If we lose 40.80, that's where that real sustained sell-off will come into play. Longs here on gold would be, hey, pull back into 40.80, hold, then you can get jiggy on the long side, okay? Again, I'm not going to take up too much of Hannah's time. I'm going to breeze through these individuals. AMD today, clear outperformer, right? You guys always ask me, how do I know what names to trade? How do I know what names not to trade? This is a great example of knowing what name to trade. Look at AMD here pre-market. Green is a leprechaun, right? Green is a leprechaun. Everything else is bright red. AMD is green as a leprechaun, okay? So this can be one of the names we focus on for relative strength. Pulled back, we held that demand. Yes, we're back into supply. That's very evident. But we can watch the top and the bottom, right? We can watch either above 224 for longs today on AMD, or we can watch below that base. So, this being a relatively strong name, this is a name that we do want to focus on today, okay? Tesla kind of still stuck in this range, but we still have this gap fill in play. This is kind of my top watch. Is below this 420 down into 410, potentially even this 400 level. If Tesla holds this 420, this could also be a nice scalp above 430 back into 440. So Tesla, it's kind of a nice either or setup today, above the top of that gap fill, below the bottom of this gap fill. Either way it goes, it's a gap fill. Meta, pretty much same approach. 720 was our big level from Sunday. Got the rejection back below that supply. If we lose these daily lows, 692 on Meta. This is a $660 stock again. That'll put us somewhere down here. So definitely keep this on watch for Meta. Below that 692. That looks very, 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 very good. Apple, all day yesterday, right? We were waiting for that pop into 250, 252. Didn't get it, right? Happened overnight. It's okay. 245 is the level today. This support. If we lose it, we're likely going to trade back into 240s, potentially even 235. So the big levels you want to watch today on Apple is 245, 250, 252 for that rejection. Google, kind of coming to life here as well, right? That big structure is 239. So if we can lose that structure, we should get that gap fill back down into 236. And I know I spoke a few minutes ago about, kind of value being extracted from us with this overnight move, but it really hasn't, because those gap fills are still into play, right? SPY hasn't filled it all. Qs hasn't filled it all. I mean, Qs have a lot lower to go. So, don't be bummed about that overnight move. There's definitely still a lot of value here. Amazon, major demand. 210, 212. We can watch that initially for a demand bounce. But if we lose this, Amazon's going to be back down to the low 200s. So this is kind of the pivot for the market, right? This is where the market's going to say, hey, this is the lower high for lower, or hey, we're going to hold here and we're going to trade back higher. This is kind of the make or break. This is the shit or get off the pop, whatever you want to call it. This is the time for the market to really say, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. Big data points later in the week, CPI, non-farm payrolls, if the government opens back up. There's a lot going on, okay? There's an absolute ton going on this week. So with that being said, guys, before Hannah starts, I want to make this very clear, right? A lot of traders make it or break it in these conditions. And what I mean by that is either you have a fucking massive day, big, or massive day blow up. You can't, the same way we traded all-time highs up here, look at this range, for example. A $7 range, right? This whole range up here, it's $7. You can't trade that the same way we're trading this. And you want me to explain why? If you use the same size you used up here, guess what's going to happen to you when you enter a trade here, right? You're going to get absolutely slammed, right? Because when we start making a move lower like this, that's a $14 move. So we essentially doubled that range in 20 minutes on the same day. So if you're in a losing trade and you're in the same size you were up there towards the range, you're going to get smacked, right? So conditions like this, size down, wider stops, keep it pushing. It's the best advice I can give you guys. It is just size down, right? You're going to make money. It's impossible not to make money, right? I promise you. For example, look at the trade we took on NQ yesterday, right? It doesn't look like a big move at all, right? We went short here, bought our position back here, right? That doesn't look like a big move. It doesn't. I promise it doesn't. But guess what? That's 100 points. That was $2,000 a contract. That was a massive move, right? Or SPY yesterday. That didn't look like a big move, right? It did not look like a big move yesterday. We went short here, sold into these lows. That's a $3 move. That was 50% on 2 days out contracts. 0 to T's, you would have made 100, 200, 300, 400%, right? That's massive. So you don't need to be heavy. Size light, wider stops. That is how you trade in these type of conditions. You're going to make money, and you're also going to protect yourself from that downside because you're lighter, okay? That's how you need to structure your position size in this. In terms of how your size, that's up to you, right? Me personally, I usually cut my size in half. So if I usually trade, $10, $15, $20,000 position, I'll cut it in half, straight off the top. But yeah, man, that's what I'm watching today. That's why I'm watching it. I'll briefly cover Qs. Like I said, I don't want to step on Hannah's toes, but I mean, this chart is beautiful, right? Major supply now, 659, 660, right? Obviously, the ultimate supply is still up here, but we got that lower high, right? That's the lower high we were looking for. Now we're below this structure. So what we'd be looking for here is essentially, as long as we're below 660, this is a chart we can short the pop on, right? That's simple. If we hold this demand and then reclaim 660, that's where we likely go higher. Qs here, what do? Perfect supply rejection. Now, yes, I'm wearing the clown suit today because I said I was going to swing short overnight, and I didn't, right? I did not. That was a no-brainer. I mean, look at the significance of this supply. That was a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer. Should have added the VIX. Should have swung short. But hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda doesn't pay the bills. Today, what we got to focus on, 598. For below 598, short the pop. That's simple. Okay? Watch for that pop back into 598. Short it. Break these lows. Likely trade back into Friday's lows. Okay? So that's the game plan there. I'm going to go ahead and let Hannah do her thing this morning. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this over. Hannah, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Good morning. Good morning. Let me go ahead and pull up the screen for Hannah. All right. Let me make sure everybody can hear Hannah. Can everybody hear Hannah on the YouTube side?
Hello, hello. All right. Can you see this now? Should be good to go.
Everybody good on YouTube for Hannah?
I can't see the chat, so
Yep,
just
all
let
right.
me know.
They're good.
Okay, perfect. Literally same exact watch as you. It's just crazy. It's kind of like, I don't know. I'm sure people think that we get together and make the same watch list, but it's literally the same exact watch. I'm kind of sick about this move happening overnight because obviously this is what we were looking for yesterday after a big gap up. I think with just, a lot of people had unsettled funds and everything yesterday. So there wasn't a lot of retail movement. But just this retracement on SPY and Qs was a lot better on Qs. But this is the exact move that we wanted. Right now, I'm just looking for continuation, right? If we get back above the 660, we might get the small gap fill back into 662. So that's a potential there. But if we lose these pre-market lows on SPY, I'll look for, we have a small gap from yesterday that has yet to be filled. But I really do think we see lower, just this pop and then, lower high. That's really my only watch here. Qs I like a little bit better just because, like you said, that perfect 603 rejection. It was like right on the money. You can see here 603, 603, 603, 603. So obviously it's just too much to ask to get it intraday. So same thing, continuation. If we get a small pop back into 598, even 600 and start to fail, I'll look for that short. If we lose pre-market lows, obviously what is this, 592? I think we'll see back to, I can actually even delete this here, back to Friday's lows, right? Like Fella said, it's just the ATR is so wide. Don't worry about, oh, have to get a perfect entry here. Have to just look for confirmation. If we get a pop, look for the wick and, use those candles as your stops, but don't try to run around and chase $5, $6, $7 moves because like you said, these are the days people blow their accounts, right? Especially on 0DTEs. Just be patient. Like there's a lot of opportunity here. These are the days that, especially on options, right? Like that volatility is going to give you big returns. You don't need to go super heavy. But these are perfect setups for continuation. I know continuation is something that we see a lot lately in this market, but just with this weakness, perfect supply rejection, I do believe we're going to get it. So this is going to be my top watch for today. I feel like I was biased yesterday a little bit looking for that pop and then to short. They didn't give it to us. And now obviously pre-market is happening. So if you guys trade futures, you're probably already in it. I'm hoping that they hold off a little bit, another 30 to 40 minutes. But that's my watch for SPY and Qs. Literally same exact watch on individuals, right? Watching the same thing on AMD. Obviously, it's pretty strong here against the market selling off. If we get above yesterday's highs around 224. I'll take it into 227, and if we get above 227, obviously you've got 230, 234. So again, if that strength continues, I'll definitely be looking for AMD because the market's pretty weak. So if you see a name that's relatively strong and the market's selling off like that, that's where you want to have your money. Obviously, if we give back this pre-market move, then we can obviously it's a $10 move, but I think below 210, below 208, obviously that's when AMD will join the party on the weak side. But as of right now, it's strong. I think Fella already went over all of my names. Like Tesla has a gap up and a gap down. So either direction, there's opportunity here. I personally like below 420. That's a nice move down to like 411, 412-ish for that gap. Below that, 400. If she continued yesterday, she was obviously really strong. Tesla was the one to trade yesterday. So if we can get this gap fill above what is 428 back into like 430s, that would be nice too. So there's two plays here. You just got to be patient and wait for one of them to play out. like I said, Fel went over all of these. Apple, I'm just annoyed about. I was watching it yesterday thinking we'd see it was pretty weak off the open, but then obviously tapped that 250. I'm looking for just a break of this pre-market low. So what is this? Yeah, 240, well, 245-ish. Below 245, I'm just nothing where I'll take it down into 240. Even what was Friday's lows here? Like 239-ish. But Apple, I think if the market's weak, she'll just fall right along with the Apple, unless, I mean, there's no catalyst really driving her to be strong right now. So I like Apple for weakness. And then Meta, same thing. I think, yeah, this 708 was holding pretty nice the last couple days, but right now, if we pop back up into like 709, 710 here and fail, I'll be looking for that. Meta obviously has a wide ATR as well, so you can get that move back into 700. Below 700, let's just say she fades right off the top, or right off the open, then take it back into 692, 690. So those are really what I'm watching. At the end of the day, obviously, most of the plays that we mentioned are, have a short side bias, but that's because look at the market. Like the weakness across the board is going to drive a lot of these names to continue. So that's really what we're hoping for. I don't know. I don't really have anything else. I'm looking to take just a few of these continuation plays and probably rock out. So if you guys have any tickers you want to put in the chat, Phil, I can't see the YouTube chat, but if they have any, can go over those really quick.
Okay, cool. Anybody got anything they want us to check out? I'll be more than happy to check it out with you guys. I got another couple minutes. I'm gonna get some breakfast and get this crack a lacking. The delay on YouTube is absolutely nuts, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Gold, I already covered, but I'll cover it again real quick. Starting to see some exhaustion here finally, right? We have that big sell-off overnight here, which doesn't look big probably to you, but that's a 90-point move. So my mindset today with gold is we're below 41.50. This is where you can short the pop back down into 40.80. It's that major demand, and then that's where you can look for that demand bounce. And if we lose that 40.80, you can kiss gold goodbye. That's where that real sustained selling will come into play. Okay, here they come. BA, sure. BA, I mean, this is demand on BA, right? BA is above 212, it's bullish. There's no other way to say it than that, right? So above 212 is bullish. If we lose it, that's obviously going to change a lot. Coin, sure. Big sell-off here, right? But this is the bullish setup. Sweep that previous low, reclaim 366, and that's when that upside will come into play. Chart's kind of a little wonky here. Let me adjust a few things. I think coin's simple as, watching this low here at 340, watching this supply here at 366, below 340, lower, above 366, back in the highs. CRM. Oh, nice strength here. Major demand hold. I mean, this was a swing I had on watch for a long time. Still in play here. Got this little triangle off of this demand. I mean, if this can get moving, right? If we can get moving, get above 257.50 here, we're going to see some real sustained upside. So this could be a great swing back into the 275s, 280s if we clear 257. So this is something definitely to keep on watch. I'm going to set alert right here. One more? Okay. Do shop and I'll do one more. Shop, I mean, I would stay away from this, right? We're just trading in between that big demand, big supply. Stay away from it. All right, one more. What you guys got? One more. What you guys think about the new YouTube layout? It's pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know why the chat's not working though. Hold on a second. See if I can fix that. There we go. See if I can get that fixed. I don't know. I'll get the chat fixed next time. All right, last one. Video. Nvidia's still holding strong. That's pretty much the only thing to say here. Major demand 180, major supply 190. Right, those are your parameters. We're below 190. I mean, it's gonna be a tough bargain for longs. If we get above 190 though, that should get us all-time highs again. 180 big demand, 190 big supply is pretty much all I gotta say there. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare for market open here. I'll see majority of you guys live on Zoom for live trading here shortly. Let's have a great day, man. We have a ton of value in front of us. The market is this is what we want to see, right? This is day trader's paradise. This is, it's so refreshing coming off those all-time highs and getting action like this. I mean, last week we made a 1,200 point move to the downside. Sunday open, made 800 points to the upside. Last night, another 600 point move. So the value is there, right? It's just all about, the proper preparation. Met with the right opportunity. So, we're doing our part right now. This is a big part of trading, the preparation aspect. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're doing, right? We're preparing for those what if scenarios, right? Because that's all we're doing. We're reacting. We're not predicting. You should never try to predict. It should always be a reactionary scenario. If this does this, I'm going to do that. If that does that, I'm going to do that. And that's how you should structure your trading day. You need to have structure. You need to have a plan. Because guess what? If you don't have a plan, how likely are you going to stick one? And you know what they always say? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So keep that in mind, guys. Always structure your trading day. I mean, even down to the time you're allowed to trade, right? Say, for example, NQ. You guys know my schedule, right? Hey, if we don't get a setup on NQ by 11, guess what? I don't take a trade. There's been plenty of days where I didn't take a trade. Right, I didn't. If my setup didn't come into play by 11:30, I rock out. If it happens at 12 when I walk away, I type in a chat, fuck, I missed it, right? I'm not going to sit there and chase because I missed my, setup. You really got to have that structure from, times you trade, what you're trading, why you're trading it, and what you're trading it with. If you do, your trading will be a lot, I'm not going to say easier because trading's not easy, but it'll be a lot easier on you in terms of actually executing. But yeah, man, hope you guys have a great day today. See pretty much majority of you guys here on Zoom shortly. And Hannah, again, thank you for your time. It's always greatly appreciated from me and I'm sure everybody else. So make sure you guys show Hannah some love. And me personally, you guys know I kind of a lot going on in my personal life right now, but I should be back to normal next week. Still doing my best to keep things on schedule. But yeah, man, let's have a great trading day today. Let's keep that momentum rolling. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace, everybody.